What is going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Horse Talk Live with your host, Michael Gascon. That's me. And we are going to be talking about some of the things we have coming up, some of the clinics we've just been to. The past couple weeks, we've been to Alaska, had a great time out there on the Kenai River, doing a clinic out there. Got to work 20 horses or so. Good time with those folks. They're happy to get a clinician in. They don't get very much up there into the Alaska area. So a lot of folks came from far and wide to work their ponies. And they have a very condensed riding time because winter's so long up there that we really try to make a lot of progress quickly because they don't have a lot of opportunity to ride, not a lot of days. The week before that, we were up in Montana. I got to ride in my first rodeo. One of my amazing students, Miss Chris, she signed me up for a rodeo, showed up, was super stoked and excited. I was pumped as could be. I got up there on the steer. It came out kind of slow. My eyes got big. I said, oh, buddy, I'm about to scoop up those legs. And my header got ran away with. I see the head loop hit the horns, and I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, I'm about to get them. 2 horns, 2 feet. And next thing I hear is, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I just see the header just getting taken off with all the way down the pin. So it put my rodeo dreams on hold for a little bit, but it was awesome to do a rodeo in Montana. Alaska was a lot of fun as well. Got to take my father along with me, so that was a good time. And the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to Zimbabwe, Africa. We are going to Africa to work some ponies. I got a phone call, and they said, hey, we heard you're the fellow that can get a horse pretty calm and pretty quiet. I was like, I've ridden a horse or two. Do you think you could get a horse ready for riding around elephants and lions? And, of course, you know, my mom always said, fake it till you make it. Of course, no problem. Let's do it. Guys, sometimes if you wait till the perfect time, that perfect time will never come. You just got to jump up and go do it. If I would have waited until I was a good colt starter to start starting colts, I would have never started starting colts. If I would have started waiting until I was good at working problem horses to work problem horses, I would have never started working problem horses. Sometimes you just got to figure it out on the fly. So we are going to Zimbabwe to help some of the horses get softer and easier and react a little bit better when they're around predators or large game, if you will. So, woosah is what I'll tell them. You know, we believe control the head, control the horse, just simply cause and effect. We've seen horses that have been through police training and parade training and shot off of horses, roped off of horses, and it all comes down to, can you control their head? That is the common denominator. So that's what we're going to be looking to show these folks over in Africa. Okay, so we have Confidence Coaching Week. All right. I'm not glitching out. I'm looking for.
Pretty early on. It just has the link.
Oh, it has to be on comments. There you go. Confidence Coaching Week. Confidence Coaching Week, September 6th through the 12th. Don't miss it because it's free $99. The Confidence Coaching Week registration is live at the Horse Guru /Confidence Coaching. Guys, check it out. We are all about gaining your confidence. There's nothing more rewarding than to give a second chance to horses and give a second chance to riders, and to see some of our diehards who were, you know, scared or even petrified, terrified of their ponies, and to see those same folks not only trail riding, not only walking around, but they're cantering around, they're flying here, they're flying there. Every time I talk to them, they're not asking me a question that they've already asked me. They're asking me, what can we do next? How can we go faster? How can we play this sport or that sport? And there's very few things in this life that give me more enjoyment than that, to see the look on their face whenever they come from a place of being such lacking confidence and scared and spooked and worried. Remember, human beings, broad stroke statement, we fear the unknown. So we just make the unknown known and make sure that you guys understand that everything is cause and effect. Once they figure that out, we really are able to breathe in confidence to the situation and put you in that driver's seat. Love doing this. Can't wait for this confident coaching week. It's going to be great. All right.
Robert said control the tusk, control the elephant.
On to question number 1. Robert always has the good advice. Yeah. Control the elephant.
He's been there. He's one who has the advice. He's already tried this.
That's right.
Trained all horses over there.
Question number 1. My horse gets really stiff at the canter. Any tips? I'm working on getting him softer, but he just wants to go fast. Also, any tips to get him off his forehand? Sarah. Absolutely, Miss Sarah. So what you're going through is absolutely normal. Horses get stiffer when they get scared and when they go fast. So we need to get them soft to our liking, to your standard of how soft you want them, and then spook them, ask them to be soft. Also, going faster. They should be faster at the walk than at a standstill. Should be faster at a trot than the walk. Should be faster at the canter than the trot. So we want to keep instilling the steering wheel even if we're going faster. So I love power of the circle for this, because you're really, even at the canter, you're just picking on one side where they have a hard time. And if you just have a horse that's completely locked up, you'll see me do power of the circle and only side check them, only flex them and soften up that steering wheel when their feet are in the air. I learned that from riding warm bloods and jumping horses that would come in that were so strong and so athletic. The only way you can move their head side to side at the canter is you would have to touch their face while their feet were in the air and release before their feet got down. And doing this on repeat would get them soft and easy, and you would gain that steering wheel at the canter. Once you get him soft and easy at the canter, now you're going to be able to get him off the forehand and over his rear. The reason that he's not on his hind end, he's really on the forehand, stiffness and being out of position goes hand in hand. Collection and softness goes hand in hand. So we got to get the horse worried about softness first and really getting that steering wheel installed at the canter. Again, check out Power of the Circle. If you're not in the membership, guys, check out the membership. We'll have a link below where you can get it. We're on wait list.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
You ever listen to me? I feel like I'm just a broken record.
What's that mean?
That means that we shut the doors. They had a chance to get in. The only way to get in
we're at the date now?
Huh?
We're at the date?
Yeah, it's August 17th.
Oh, that's well.
But the only way that they can get in before next spring, their opportunity will come through as long as they can hop on one of our free resources. So if they get on there and sign up for the coaching week, that puts them on our email list. Like, they'll get a chance, but they got to be on the list where we can see them.
Gotcha, guys. So the doors have closed on our membership. I really didn't even realize what day of the month it was, or really what month of the year it is. So the doors have closed on our membership. So if you want to check out that information and see that information, make sure you're checking out all of the free information that we're putting out, from the coaching week to our YouTube channel, our checklist, all those things that we're putting out for you guys. And those are going to be your opportunities to see that information. But really, to get off the soapbox is simply installing that steering wheel, and you install the steering wheel by picking on one side at a time at the speed that you want. When you get that face off, then you'll be able to drive that horse over its rear end. Question number 2. Hello, my horse leans on the farrier and he jerks his foot away. He doesn't do it to me. Susan. All right, Miss Susan. So what you would like to do is you would like to start fiddle farting with him with the rope. We have a colt here or there that will say, no, not for the farrier. So instead of him using his hand, if he can use a rope so that when the horse stomps his foot down, he doesn't get that release. Also, when you go to desensitize that, you having the rope on him, you'll be able to slap harder and tap on his foot more and mess with him more so that he tries to stomp his foot down. And when he does stomp his foot down, since you have a rope attached to it, then he doesn't get that release. So even though he takes his foot from you, just like you do with your little brother, I'm still touching you. Yes, you're going to get that non-release. Okay, and that's what you're looking for. If you're holding it by hand and they can just slip their leg away, then they're getting that release, and that is not ideal. So doing some rope work, doing some desensitizing is really going to help you. And not only picking the foot up and cleaning their foot out whenever you're grabbing them, but picking their foot up and tapping on their foot and slapping the bottom of their foot and things like that in preparation for your farrier to come. Question number 3. I'm having a problem with my mare gating when I don't want her to. How do I fix it? Aliese. All right. I'm having a problem with my mare gating when I don't want her to. How do I fix it? Aliese. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for her to walk and she's gating and you're trying to slow her down, it's all about getting her soft enough that you can get her head down below the saddle. So showing her how to drop her head. If gait is up in the bridle, most people hold their horse up to slow them down. And the more they hold them up and the more the horse gets up in the bridle and the more antsy the horse gets, it's just a snowball effect of energy. And it's just like adding fuel to the fire. So that will be all about getting her head down below the saddle, turning that adrenaline pump off, really getting her soft and easy. A lot of times to start that process, you have to get them soft and easy and head down to one side and the other. My favorite exercise for that is spiraling. And spiraling is circling them to the inside, to the inside, to the inside, and then asking them to back up crooked. By far the easiest way to get your horse to drop its head. Question number 4. What do you recommend for steps switching from English to Western? I don't have the seat at the moment to ride English, so my confidence is not there, Miss Roxane. Switching from English to Western, it's as simple as this. If you're switching from English to Western, you're simply going to have to sit further back on your butt, and you're going to have to get comfortable with the idea that you're not holding them back to slow them down. In a sense, you're circling them to slow them down. Once your brain says, oh, I don't have to hold this horse by the face to slow it down or keep it at speed, I can simply put it on a loose rein. Anytime it speeds up, I can make my circle smaller, push them inward or push them outward, and use my circles to slow them down and maintain that loose rein. That's the big difference. So English, you're sitting more upright, you're sitting forward in the saddle, and you almost need a little bit of contact to stay balanced and stay confident in your mind. Your Western rider can sit further back on their butt, and they use their seat for balance versus the horse's face. And you have the understanding that if anything happened, you could simply pull his face away and take his butt from them. That's what gives you the confidence to sit back. It's not that Western riders are better or braver than English riders. It's simply that they know on that loose rein, hey, if this horse takes off, I'll simply reach down and pull it around and take his butt from him. And that's what gives them the confidence to sit back and put them on a loose rein. So that will really help if you do make those couple of adjustments. Number 5, still working on the canter, off with confidence. How low should my hands be? Wish I had longer arms, Wendy. Okay. If we're still working on cantering with confidence, it's not necessarily that our hands have to be lower. We just don't want to be holding our horse's face up. So if you extend your arms downward, especially for a gated horse, so Miss Wendy has Fireball, who's a Rocky Mountain. So he was gating his whole life, and now we're asking him to canter. So it's not about how low you can drop your hands. It's just not that you're giving him the idea of pick his head up. Because when you ask him to pick his head up, because your hands come up when you're cantering, that picks his head up, flattens out his back, and then he breaks in and out of gait, and that gets uncomfortable for you. The more uncomfortable you get, the less confident you get. So I would suggest lowering your inside hand and leaving it down and forward. But you don't need longer arms. You can still get him to canter good. Just with the hands you have, they're fine. Just think, I'm not actively trying to pick his head up. Question number 6. Can you describe what exactly you are doing with your outside hand and rein when teaching the spin? And how do you keep from getting dizzy, Miss Patti? Well, unfortunately, one of those answers is practice. Practice keeps you from getting dizzy. But whenever I am asking that horse to step over, especially in the beginning, I'm asking them to spin or step over and they're kind of green. I want to make sure that I open the door to the inside. I'm sitting back into the inside hip because I want that back inside hip to pivot. So I want to put my weight over the pivot point. Now my outside hand is going to start closing in, but I do not want to have the horse's nose tipped to the left now. I do not want my right hand crossing over their withers. I just want it to come up towards their neck and shut down the forward. So now when I do this, your gaited horse that you're trying to do this on is going to try to walk forward. I want you to suck that right hand back in towards your inside hip, back towards the inside hip of the horse, but not let it cross over the horse's neck. And what that's going to do is going to shut down the forward. The horse is going to rock back on its butt. Now you're bumping with that outside rein and that outside leg. And the second its front inside leg takes a step this way, you're going to release and ask for it again. Release, ask for it again. Release, ask for it again until you get that rotation. And by the time that you get, whenever your hands move over at all, that horse is already taking a step with that inside leg. That's when you're really going to feel it. So basically your outside rein does two things. It keeps the shoulders from leaking the wrong way. Sometimes our horses get flexed here and their shoulders fall the wrong way. Don't want that to happen. Outside rein keeps that from happening. And two, your outside rein shuts down forward motion. Whenever you're trying to turn, the horse trying to walk forward, that outside rein shuts them down and makes them look to go over here to the side. If you do those two things, you're going to find immediate success. What number am I on there? 7.
It should be up on your thing. You just got rid of it.
Yep. How do I develop a better seat? Question number 7. Which exercise should I do, and how can I tell if I'm truly balanced? Miss Sasha. All right, so quite frankly, I see a lot of core exercises. I see a lot of different things that people think that they're doing that is going to help their seat, and all that's great. Core strength is great. Balancing is great. All that's wonderful, but most of those things, we are preparing our core to be tight so we can have a nice, pretty posture for the show ring. So if you are looking at just getting more balanced and more confident on your horse, it's actually in the rotation of your pelvis. Just like I'm sitting in this chair right here. Just like I'm sitting in this chair right here, where you can just sit down and put your tailbone on the bottom of your saddle, where your belt can touch the back of your saddle. That inclination towards the rear with your hips, that's where your balance comes from, because from there, your shoulders naturally get behind your hips. Your heels naturally get in front of your hips, and you don't have to think about it, and you don't have to tense up. From there, you can relax your core, exhale, and now your hips want to go with your horse. All these things and exercises and core training and strength training and all these things, nothing about that sounds relaxed, sounds easy. And when you see a bronc rider or a bull rider, it's their ability to stick with their animal and stay loosey-goosey up there that keeps them with their animal. Whenever you're going to ride a horse and you're trying to be confident, the more relaxed you are and the more you can sit towards the rear. Why do bronc riders and bull riders lay down on their animal? If correct riding of equine or bovine, of horses or bulls, is to sit up straight and pretty, why don't the bull riders and the bronc riders sit upright and pretty? Well, they don't sit upright and pretty because the closer to your vertical line that you get, the less balance you have. So many of us who are spending time and effort to get a stronger core so we can sit closer to our vertical line, that's fine, as long as you understand that and balance don't go hand in hand. That helps you to hold that posture, hold that core, to hold it for longer periods, to have more control of it. But it's really for a judged look, it's for a show look. If you really want to be more balanced and more confident on your horse, if you could roll back on your hips and put your belt on the back of that saddle, put your tailbone on that horse's spine, your shoulders rock back behind your hips and your heels get down in front of your hips. Now you're sitting a lot more like a cutting trainer. And cutters, even amateur cutters, they can ride those genetic freaks chasing a cow, bareback and bridleless, and they don't fall off. And it's not because they're the greatest horsemen who ever lived and horsewomen who ever lived. It's simply that their seat has them so confident and they're so loosey-goosey. When their horse jumps or spins or turns or does whatever, they just simply go with them. They go with the flow. So it's less about strengthening and power and it's more about relaxing, Hakuna Matata, exhaling your core, loosening up your hips. Whenever I'm giving examples to my wife, I like to use the reference of chocolate because she knows chocolate well. Whenever chocolate is frozen and tense and tight, you could throw it at somebody and dink it off their head and it'll be uncomfortable. But if you throw a melted bar of chocolate at it will stick to them because it's melted and it's soft. You want to be melted chocolate, my friends. If you're melted chocolate, you're relaxed on that horse, you're stuck to that horse, you're going to go anywhere that that horse goes. And that's where your confidence comes from. If you're tense and tight and straight and erect, then anytime that horse moves, you and your horse are creating separation. And that's what gives you the feel that you don't have balance. So many of you have way more balance than you think you do. You just don't have the seat. You're not sitting on your bum. You're not sitting with your tailbone pointing straight downward towards the horse's spine. And because of this, we're getting separation from our horse. We're kind of bouncing around. The more we bounce around, the tighter and tenser we get, the tighter and it becomes a snowball effect.
All the laughing faces start to come through. I can't wait to get the freeze frame off that. Oh.
All right. Did you see that lead rope pass across the screen? She almost murdered me. When a horse is motorcycling into the circle, do you put your weight back into the outside? Do you lift and tighten the inside rein and move the shoulders? Steph. Ow. Absolutely. I never heard it called circling, motorcycling, but yes, absolutely. When they crash on you like that, you want to step. I don't think about sitting back. I think about standing on the outside stirrup because I want my feet parallel with the ground regardless of what the horse is doing. So if the horse is leaning inward or outward or wherever, I want my feet to be parallel with the ground. And if I'm on a horse and I'm still working on that kind of stuff, then definitely they can lean all the way inward. They want to. I'm still going to stand straight up, which means I'm going to be putting most of my weight on the outside stirrup. Not only that, then I'm really going to I'm standing on the outside stirrup, pointing my outside rein outward, and I'm going to grab that inside rein and pull that horse's face to his shoulder until that position gets so uncomfortable. He sees he can't get his face back, so he moves his shoulder away from his face to find that release. And that's where he's going to, they call it picking up a shoulder. That's where he's going to pick up his shoulder. That's where he's going to square up and straighten up. So that's really going to help you. We do a lot of that in Power of the Circle, and we're talking about getting horse soft and easy at the canter. That's a really good place to do it. Question number 9. Not exactly a training question, but I'm curious. I keep seeing posts about folks who ask for a canter and their horses start bucking. What is that about? Is it a disrespect issue, or is it because mixed cues in the past and it's their way out of a tense situation? Sasha. All right, Miss Sasha. A lot of times, if you watch the horse, number one, the horse isn't really respectful as far as it's bunched up. It doesn't want to go anywhere. And then a lot of times when you see that, they'll ask for canter. The horse is still trotting, canter, and they'll nag and kick and nagging. Instead of really asking of it in a way that makes the horse want to go, they'll nag the horse until it throws a crow hop or starts bucking. And then immediately, as soon as the horse does that, immediately, like clockwork, the legs stop kicking, the mouth stops kissing. And because of that, the horse learns, oh, if you start kicking me, I'll start bucking, you'll stop kicking me. So essentially, we're training them to crow hop. We're training them to buck. And I have dealt with hundreds upon hundreds of horses that have this issue. Trot around all day, no problem. You go to ask them to canter, you kick, they kick. When they kick out, if you don't stop, if you don't keep kicking, if you don't keep pushing and driving through it, then they really learn how to do that. The other thing, that's one scenario. Another scenario is you'll see the horse moving around all bunched up like it can't go anywhere, like it's not flattened out, it's not covering ground. You see their neck bunched up, their shoulders over their neck, like they're a bodybuilder, just because they're so tense. And then you ask that horse to canter when they look like that, and a lot of folks aren't seeing the signs to say, hey, you probably shouldn't canter that horse because it's all bunched up. And if it's bunched up like that, that's the equivalent of you mashed on the gas pedal, but you haven't released the emergency brake yet. And a lot of folks don't see the signs, and they ask that horse to canter, and the horse still locked up somewhere in the transmission, is still bunched up, still hunched up in the back. They haven't trotted it around. They haven't done anything to address that situation. And then the horse starts bucking into the canter again. Couple things that we do to address that. Number one, if you're worried about bucking under saddle, make sure your horse canters off on the ground. That's a great way. If you have one that's bunched up, that'll see how flat your horse moves. The next thing, if you have a horse that doesn't want to canter for you, instead of asking for the canter, ask for the long trot. Ask for a ridiculous extended trot until that horse is like, they'll start offering the canter for you. And now we've played a little psychological mind game on them. Instead of you asking for them canter and them saying no and bucking, you say, I don't want canter. You wouldn't believe, guys, how many horses I've fixed that bucked into the canter, and the only thing I did was trot them. I would just trot them faster and faster and faster and never give a cue, never give anything to canter. And they're like, oh my gosh, trotting sucks. The next thing you know, they're offering, here, I'll just canter, because canter is easier than trot is, actually. So that's another way to do it. There's a lot of different exercises we can do to flatten out that trot and get them moving out easier and softer. You can do rollbacks. But so much of it's just reading that sign and making sure that the horse is free. If you've done these things and your horse is still sketching you out, we do something called riding the eye, where we hold the horse off center, our hands extended in front of us to the inside. Essentially, the only thing that horse people can agree on, English, Western, Western, Eastern, everybody lunges the horse. Okay, why do we lunge a horse? It's the easiest, hardest to mess up thing that you can do with the horse outside of leading them, which is basically send them off and put pressure behind them. They give you their face, they go forward. I just had this conversation with a student of mine, and that's kind of when I had this epiphany to say is, buddy, you're riding a horse that likes to buck. Basically, just lunge it from the saddle. Your lunging is so good on the ground, do the same thing in the saddle. So keep your hand off center where your horse sees that eye. It already knows it's going to get pulled this way. You're not hiding behind the horse's neck, and then drive the horse from there. Since the horse is already looking off center, the odds of them putting their head down and bucking with you are very slim. You've already shown the horse to be soft and easy. Well, now just drive the horse from there. He made the adjustment, took his hand from the horse's neck to 1.5 feet out here beside the horse's neck, where the horse always knew where she was going to get pulled if there was an issue. Very quickly, her feet freed up, and she wasn't bucking anymore. Question number 10. How do we stop a horse from biting you when you are on him? Number one, if we're flexing him you can bump them with your leg or bonk them. What I like to do the most is when a horse tries to bite me is I flex their face past my leg and ask them to disengage a couple times in a rapid manner. And that really makes them want to change their mind. I'll be riding when he's overdoing work. He will go for my leg and try to bite me, Miss Christine. Miss Christine, I'm telling you, if he's overworking and he doesn't know what work is yet, he goes around and bites your leg, make his mouth past your leg. Now you're not in no danger of being bit. And then ask him to move his butt around in a circle quickly, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And then whenever you're done, release him like it never happened, like there's something wrong with you. Give him the reins right back. And he goes, oh, my goodness. And you'll work for a little bit, and he'll think, I'm going to nip you. No, you're made of sugar. Grab that joker by the face when he reaches your way and pull him past your leg again where your leg is in no danger, and disengage him multiple times again. I'm telling you, it doesn't take 2 times of doing that, 3 times of doing that, and the horse does not want to bite you because there's a direct repercussion that comes with it. Question number 11. My gelding, when he transitions from canter to trot / gait, he has about 4 to 8 really rough pace steps, and it almost takes you out of the saddle. All right. Whenever we have this issue, our horse is flattening out in that transition. So a lot of times horses, they're cantering along here, and when they transition down to a trot, they do this, and their nose picks up, their back flattens out. Well, now their front feet are in front of them and their back feet are behind them, and they get really rough. And that's where you get that rough pace. So it's all about, this is the correct shape we want when we're cantering. Withers and back up, butt underneath them, head down. And we're always around here working on canter departures. But then once the horse is cantering off easy, then we're looking for that horse to transition downward and keep the same shape. So we want to be cantering across here and then say trot. And when they try to pick their head up, put their head right back down. And that's going to keep them rounded up. It's going to keep them collected. It's simply that your horse, whenever it downshifts, is downshifting hard like a teenager downshifting a stick shift. Okay, it's just whenever he downshifts, he's getting out of position, his back's flattening out, and that's what's ruining your ride. So you work that by simply working on that transition, ask him to canter, and then Don't canter even a whole lap of the round pen. Break him down to a trot with the focus on keeping his head down, keeping his head behind the bridle, keeping his head soft. He does it. The first time will be rough. Then you'll ask him to canter off. Once he gets soft and easy and behind the bridle, you ask him to canter off again. And then you'll break down again to the trot. Again and again, looking for that softness being your key component to that. And you'll fix that in 1 session, 2 sessions. Hi, Miss Barb. My mare is very inconsistent with loading in a trailer. Sometimes great, but other times awful. Best approach, Miss Jill. Miss Jill, quite frankly, we get told to trailer load every single horse here that comes for training. Once we go to the respect series and have that horse very respectful, it's the same thing. Your horse being inconsistent with trailer loading is the same thing as somebody who has an inconsistent show horse who one day can win, but one day gets thrown out. A horse that is very good on the trail one day, but one day they're not. All that inconsistency goes hand in hand with their respect, with their obedience. A good obedience dog is the same every day. A good show horse comes out the same every day. A good trail horse comes out the same every day. And if the horse knows that your horse already knows how to get on the trailer, has been on the trailer many times, it has nothing to do with the trailer. You do not have a trailer issue. You have a respect and undivided attention issue. If your horse is a show horse, a great show horse, knows his job, knows the transitions, and one day's on, one day's off, you have no show issue. You have a lack of respect issue. One time something gets their attention, one time it doesn't. If you have a great trail horse that can do everything fine, goes through the water, goes up the hill, and then one day it doesn't, again, you don't have a trail issue. You have a lack of respect, lack of attention. Everybody I talk to, oh, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm a horse person. And they're like, oh, the time that I got hurt, when they're telling you their accident from a horse, everybody gets hurt on trained horses. If the horse knows how to ride and it hurts you, which is most people's case, because very few people want to get on a horse, you have to blindfold and snub up to a tree and hobble to get on. Very few people are riding that horse. Most people are riding a horse that is trained. If that's the case, the horse either doesn't respect you or isn't paying attention. In both of those cases, they can get you in trouble, and that's a direct correlation to why the horse is inconsistent getting on the trailer. So the next time that, number one, go through the respect series, get that horse backing up really softly. If it backs up at 1 mile per hour, ask her for 2. She backs up at 2, ask her for 4. Always asking a little bit more, keeping her aware and engaged on you. And the day that she gives you a little issue on the trailer, don't even worry about the trailer. Go right back to your respect series. Get her backing up assertively. Get her doing first grade really good, soft and easy, giving you her undivided attention. And then go from all that energy, kill it, all that energy like nothing happened, and simply walk right back on the trailer. You would be amazed how many horses just doing that. They're like, okay, I'm so sorry. Let's get on, because it wasn't a trailer issue to start with. It was a respect issue. See, Miss Linda loves the chocolate reference.
Yeah. I think there's a 13 on there.
There's a 13.
From Miss Lori.
Question number 13. When walking a straight line, my mare tightrope walks. My farrier says it's her confirmation. Are there any exercises I can do to help with this? Also, my mare tends to change bend when riding circles. What exercise is the best to keep the bend in the circle and not change the bend? I used to do a lot of flexing in motion. Now she wants to keep changing that bend, Lori. All right, to fix the bend, you simply want to do power of the circle and ride the eye, where you keep a little bit of the inside rein. The outside rein doesn't do much other than tell her to go straight or tell her to move outward. You holding that inside rein a little tighter, especially if she's flexible, that's immediately going to fix her flexing back and forth. Anytime a horse, people say, oh, you get the horse too bendy. If you get the horse too bendy, all you got to do is go straight. If you get the horse where they're constantly looking to turn, all you need to do is speed up and go straight. In this scenario, if she's looking to constantly bend both ways, well, then hold that inside line and show her, hey, we're going to go through this whole circle. Well, how do I push the horse outward? you simply pick up their shoulders. So I can keep a horse bent to the left the whole for 5 minutes and walk, trot, canter, and put that horse anywhere in the arena that I want, because yes, their head's off center, but I can move their shoulders and I can move their butt, which allows me to put them wherever I want, and that will get her from stop moving her head wherever she wants to go. When walking in a straight line, my mare tightrope walks. So I'm having a little difficult in the understanding of the tightrope walk. 1 second. Babe, do you know what a tightrope walk is?
Yeah.
What?
Like the string.
Gotcha.
Yeah, where one foot's going in front of the other foot.
Gotcha.
In a straight line.
Absolutely. So if we're trying to fix the tightrope walking, like they're either not paying attention or they're having a problem tripping, they want to use stuff like ground poles or tires or things like that, where they really have to place their feet. If it's just her natural conformation that she likes to cross in the front like a supermodel, we've had horses that do that, and that's a conformation issue. As long as you're feeling like you're safe and she's not going to fall, it's not something I would pick on. I've ridden plenty of horses. I've shown horses that, crossed over in the front, and it looks wacky when you look at it. But if that's the way that they're built, I mean, I know some folks who are pigeon-toed, and I know some folks who are duck-toed, and I know some girls who walk like supermodels and cross over their feet like that. I mean, it doesn't seem like the most comfortable way to get there, but if it's not posing a threat, then I wouldn't pick on it too much. All right, so checking out. New comments. All right, Ben, you got anything else you want to add?
There's one more question on there that I think you missed.
What's that?
I was going to show them the sneak peek video. Tips for a hard to catch horse.
Tips.
That's going to be your last one.
Okay, last question of the day. Tips for a hard to catch horse, Miss Kimberly. Liberty is probably my favorite thing to do to get those hard to catch horses. Whenever, as simple as in a stall, it's in a round pen, it's in an arena, it's the same thing. So the old timers who will open a stall door, and if the horse showed them their butt or put their nose, they would start clicking to them. The hot passos, just clicking would have them bouncing off the walls. Well, they're bouncing around, they're looking for a way out. The second they even look back at us and give us two eyes, we release that pressure. Then the horse looks away from us to get away from us. We start clicking to them. We put pressure on them. The second they look at us, we get quiet again. Very quickly, that horse wants to face up. Guys, that's liberty. That's all liberty is. It's just in a small space. That's in a stall. We would do the exact same type of stuff in a round pen. Basically, pressure them or make them mentally uncomfortable away from us. Release that energy when they come to us. You do that, and you'll get them drawn to you. You'll get the horse where you click to them, and they come to you like they're Zorro's horse. And it's amazing. Passos are one of those horses that a lot of them are not food motivated. So a lot of things that were told to us when we were young didn't work. It was amazing when I started getting Liberty mentors and putting that to use and giving that a go, how it was really beneficial. And I could get horses who usually didn't come to you, didn't care if you shook a bucket of food, they wouldn't come to you. Then I could click or kiss to them, and they would come to me. The other thing that you could do is every time that you catch them, like if they're in a big field, we have some horses that are in a big field, they're not easy to catch. Whatever it takes, we go catch them, even if we have to get 2 or 3 people. And every single time, let's say for a month, that we catch them to work them, we catch them, bring them up, tie them up, and let them eat. Okay. Then after they eat and they digest, then we work. We put them back out. The next time that we catch them by whatever means. And, if it takes a second person or third person, we catch them. We tie them up. We let them eat. You would be amazed just by catching them. And the first thing they do whenever they're caught is they get tied up to eat. Very quickly, a horse will meet you at the gate and say, "Are we going to eat?" I mean, it's like any time that I want to get Kelsey away from the computer, all I say is, "Hey, we're going to eat." Did you say food? Did you say eat?
So many food jokes. I'm hangry. It's fine. We're going to do a couple more because we're going to stay here and do all of our peoples. And I have the commercial to show Robert. So
awesome.
There you go.
Questions about trailering. We are taking Raptor and his mom on a 5-hour trip. Do you suggest tying mom who's experienced in trips, and leaving her loose. Raptor is going to be loose. It's a 4-horse stock, and they will be in the front half of it. No divider between mom and foal. Yeah, you can do that. That's not right in that situation. You can't really feel either way. I've had trainers who were dead set. If they're going with the foal, they have to be loose. And I've had others that are dead set. They're going with the foal. They have to be tied. And quite frankly, all the moms and all the foals have made it. So in this specific scenario, the mom who knows how to tie and knows how to load, you can't really get it wrong, quite frankly. The only time you could get this wrong is if mama doesn't like tying, or mama doesn't like the trailer,
or mom doesn't like her baby.
Yeah, and then you try to do that, well, then you can have an issue. But quite frankly, I don't think either way is going to give you a problem. I would probably tie mom up just to have a little bit. I feel like it's more stable. I feel like if the horse gives the pressure, they're more stable if you tie them, because it gives them one more thing to balance on. If the horse doesn't give the pressure, then I really leave them loose. How many hours a week do you work? Quite frankly,
16, 18 a day.
Yeah, I'd say 15, 16 hours a day.
Monday through Saturday.
6 days a week or so. We don't think about, like, it's just a lifestyle. Like, we don't know any other way, quite frankly. And whenever you're raised on a ranch, that's why everybody that comes to the academy, nobody says that it was just okay. It was either the best time of their life or the worst time.
God.
Or the worst time in their life.
Don't let him rope. Take his horses away.
If you're going to be a horse trainer, understand that this is not a 9-to-5. This is not a banker's job. This is a lifestyle. These horses, they don't care if it's hot or if it's cold. They will break something. If it's your birthday, if it's Christmas, they'll pop a water line. They'll have this. And on the other hand, your clients do not care if it's hot or if it's rainy or if it's snowy or if it's icy. All they care is my horse broke or not? Is my horse working good or not? That's all that matters. So with that being said, we do everything we can to give our horses the best chance of success possible. And we do add some hours up around here.
All right, answer this one while I get the video up.
But we do take Sundays off whenever we're not on the road.
We do.
In the spring, I think we did what, 2.5 months with no Sundays because we were at expos and clinics.
You looked really rough by May.
I didn't look rough.
You look super rough. You look like you needed to sleep for a long time.
People say I look like Sam Elliott. Seasoned cowboy. Kelsey, can you answer me and PM?
Oh, whoops, sorry, wrong one. Where did the one that I thought I clicked on? Oh, here we go. You just
Any tips for preparing a green horse before you send him to a pro for training? Absolutely. The more that they can give the pressure, the more respectful they are. If they tie, amazing. If they pick up their feet, awesome. If they carry the saddle, great. If you desensitize them, awesome. But the biggest thing is that they're respectful is by far the easiest. If they're respectful and they give the pressure, those two things, usually when horses are homegrown and they come to training, those are the two things that they don't do. The horse comes thinking that they're a dog and that there's nothing that a person would ever do to them. And they have the utmost admiration for people. The problem with this is, since they've been loved on and raised like that, they think that they can't get there pressured, and they think that the rest of the world is scary, but people are not, which makes it dangerous for your trainers, because now anytime the horse gets uncomfortable, he's going to come towards the trainer versus away from the trainer. So those are the two things you can do. Make sure your horse is respectful and make sure your horse knows how to give the pressure. Everything else after that is just a plus. If they can carry a saddle 20, 30, 40 times, and when I say carry a saddle, literally just put a saddle on them and cinch them up. You can do that 20, 30, 40 times. It's just going to allow your trainer to advance more. So you're just going to get more bang for your buck.
All right. Hey, Sue, I broke Shelby's computer, so she will be getting all of those caught up tomorrow. And now for Robert's little debut funny. Oh, this is going to be gold. All right.
Is it going to be gold?
Oh, no. What's it say?
What does it say?
Your browser doesn't support. Oh, why don't you support it? No, we have to watch it. No. Okay, hold on. We can do this. So I need to do not look at how many things I have on my screen. This is not going to be good.
Okay, give me 1 second. It's worth it, I promise. I need to pull it up from downloads. Hello, there you are. Going to put this right here. Bear with me for 1 second, guys. We are going to share screen. Share screen. Oh, why are you being difficult? Yes, allow. Use password. I don't know my password. Try again. Hold on. I promise it's going to be worth it. Let's see. I don't want to quit and reopen. Well, let me do it. Sorry. So broke Shelby's computer, and then I had to get a new computer, give her my old computer. Let's see. Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. Go to system preferences, lock. Okay, it's wanting me to restart my computer. Hold on. I'm throwing it up on my phone. Committed.
I see.
Are you married to a crazy horsewoman? As am I. I'm Michael Gascon, the horse guru. Here to bring you Husband's Guide to Horses. Husband's Guide to Horses. Husband guide. Husband guide. Are you married to a crazy horsewoman? As am I. I'm Michael Gascon, the horse guru, and I'm here to bring you the Husband's Guide to Horses. Do you want to have a happy wife and a happy life? Well, I speak husband, and I'm here to help.
Coming soon to a theater near you. It's going to be great.
We speak husband. By we, I speak husband, and I'm coming to help you guys out.
All right, guys. If we missed you, if you throw your comments on later, we will get you on. Next week, we will be in Zimbabwe. We may try to get some of these and pre-record. The live is going to be a little bit difficult over there without having Wi-Fi. But we are vlogging the whole adventure. We can't wait to share that.
We're vlogging it. That means we're videoing it.
You know what I didn't do was film the whole COVID test disaster.
That's okay. We got like 2 more tests.
Right. It's all fine.
Guys, it's going to be awesome. So excited for Africa, and we're so excited with the stories that we will be bringing to you. So wish us luck, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.